My name is Benjamin Rodriguez. I am the founder and CEO of Business Club LLC, the leading platform for business storytelling and branding. And today we have Angel Cespedes and Jenny Rodriguez of Uptown Gaming. Thank you guys for coming. Angel, welcome. Jenny, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Angel Cespedes. I would say I'm just an Uptown kid. I grew up north of Harlem. I originally came here from Dominican Republic when I was 8 years old. And ever since I got here, I've always had a passion for like video games. Even though I was always outside with my friends playing in Help Tag, Manhunt, we play sports in the parks. I always had a passion for, going back home or going to my friends' cribs and playing video games and just being able to compete and like just kind of talk shit, just kind of playing video games with them. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of like who I am when it comes to from a personal perspective. I would say from like a personal perspective for my career, I've been working in corporate finance for about 8 years now. I graduated with a master's in accounting and a bachelor's in accounting. So most of my experience comes from like corporate finance and building systems, processes, maintaining books, and just building out teams. That's kind of where my experience comes mostly from. I went to Mercy College in Dobbs Ferry, graduated out of a great program there. After I got out of the college, I went to a Big Four accounting firm. After the Big Four firm, I went to a transit tech company. I've been there now 8 years. And then throughout the last decade or so on the side, I've been building this dream, this goal, this gaming company. Before it wasn't called Uptown Gaming, it was called GBN Events, where we used to travel to different places and do events and stuff like that. And through time, eventually became Uptown Gaming, and we'll get into more detail, but we are where we are now.
Great, thank you for sharing that. Jenny, so how did you come into this picture about Uptown Gaming and meeting Angel?
Like I said, my name is Jenny. I was born and raised in Harlem. My life does not revolve around video games. My uncle, actually my mother's brother, he's the one who played video games. I remember he had a GameCube. We played Mario on it, but I remember my life was straight music. He introduced me to Mark Anthony, Jose, Ana Gabriel, like all these oldies. Like that's what I grew up on. And with video games, I had like nothing to do with. Like he would play it, I would watch it. That's it. That was my life with video games. But growing up, regular Dominican girl, like I just raised at home. I never went outside. I don't know what those games are, Manhunt or anything. I don't have brothers, so I was never allowed to go outside. But I go to Mercy College. That's where I met Angel, and that's where GBN starts and Uptown Gaming, and with Angel and our friend Luigi, and like he said, a little more later on to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So now we know a little bit about your background. We want to get into what is Uptown Gaming. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to us, anyone that have not heard or learn about what you guys are all about? Tell us about Uptown Gaming.
Yeah, so Uptown Gaming, it's Manhattan's first video game bar north of Harlem. So we are very, if you're from Uptown and you live in Harlem Heights, Bronx, Inwood, Dykeman, you know what the culture is like. So we wanted to have our own space that represented us, and we could build a community that's unapologetic to who we are, while also being nerds and being into anime, being into gaming. We now have a large culture of anime fandom, video gaming fandom that is 21 plus. Back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, it was kind of like weird being a nerd and into like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. And now we have a plethora of like animes that are mainstream. You got rappers. Anime and gaming is now has been ingrained into the fabric of society, and now it's cool to be a gamer. So we have all these older nerds who, like I said, have families, they have lives, and we want to give them a space where they can come, like a hub uptown, where they can come and just chill, have a drink, play some video games, play casually or competitively, and hang out with us, and we can just talk about what they like. They don't have to feel the pressure of a lot of maybe other establishments where like it's such a like a fine dining experience or like too uptight. We're very chilled here at Uptown Gaming, and we're very proud of the community we have built through the time. This like gaming community. Even though we not don't just do video gaming, we have a lot of people who are not into gaming at all that just like the vibe, and they come in, have a beer, chill, play some board games, or attend some of our workshops as well.
Great.
Aside from the owner, I'm the bartender. And my vision for Uptown Gaming was, as the girlfriend slash wife or a partner of a gamer, if I go to one of these places, what do? I don't want to sit there and be bored while my partner just plays video games and I'm just there like looking at the ceiling. So my vision was I want to go to a place where the music is lit. I'm going to have great drinks, great food. The atmosphere is amazing. Maybe there's a hookah, maybe there's not. If you're into that, it's fine. But as long as like the environment, the people is there, and like the charisma is there, that's what I wanted, and that's what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's what I bring to the table. I've met a lot of female gamers and not gamers who come and they're just like, oh, I'm not really interested in gaming, and I was just like, we can talk about whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And we sit there and we talk about whatever, and even whoever that's not into gaming, I'll just come in and just chill and just look at the space and we talk about absolutely everything, So that's what we do.
Great. So just back up a little bit. We want to know pretty much so this idea arose from just your childhood, right? You playing video games and it became a passion of yours. And you come from a background, like a corporate background, I would say. You worked in finance and all that. So any small business owners that's taking a look at this interview, it would say, oh, but Angel had it all figured out. Comes from a corporate background, finance. Tell me, how did you start? And was it easy?
I would say at the end of the day, you do have to prepare yourself to an extent. You're not going to be able to put a plan together or start any business without any form of formal plan. And you do have to invest in yourself. So in that sense, me being educated, me being able to have the background that I have, it's not providing value in any monetary way. It's just giving me the right skills so that I can put the right team together. And then when it comes to resources, we will figure it out. I think, honestly, sometimes people stress too much on, I don't have the money, I don't have the team, I don't have the resources. But I wouldn't want you to look at my story and think, oh, but you went to school, you went to college, I didn't get that opportunity. To be honest with you, there's people out there who started with much less than that and have accomplished much more. So I don't think that you should ever approach it with that mentality of you have this, so it's easier for you. Unless obviously you're like some billionaire kid who got spoon fed. That's an exception. But I would say you have to invest in yourself to an extent. You have to, get financially literate. Everything right now. There's no excuse. You can Google anything. There's YouTube University. You can do so much to educate yourself, to put yourself in the right position, at the most value to yourself, so that you can start any business. But you have to put in the effort. It's not going to happen for you. You have to make it happen. So whether you went to school or not, you can start any business you want. You just have to start with something and be comfortable knowing that in the beginning you're going to suck. It's going to be ugly. It's not going to be the best. It's going to be wonky. You're going to make mistakes. Even us, when we first started doing events, in the beginning, we started off the gaming company as a video game club at a college. 3 or 4 or 5 people, 5, 10 people for weeks, months on end. And then eventually started getting interest outside from other schools coming to the school. We convinced the school to allow outside guests to come in from other schools and be part of the video game club. This is like a crazy foreshadowing, but we used to actually buy them a lot of pizza at the video game club when we used to hold the video game events. And we had no money for equipment at all. We borrowed equipment from the school. We brought our consoles from the house that our mom and dad bought us, and we borrowed equipment from friends. And eventually, we were able to raise funds by everybody chipping in every week to buy ourselves equipment and consoles, and we bootstrapped our way into it. So we didn't just have it. We through years buying a new monitor, buying a new PS2, PS5, PS3, Nintendo, whatever, Wii U at the time, whatever it was. We kept buying consoles and eventually built this plethora of inventory. But again, we just started. Yeah, and it's just a matter of like just start and just give it a shot. Like
Right, you got to take risks, right?
Yeah.
Anyone thinking out there starting their own business or already started, or it's like just starting out, everyone know what bootstrapping is, so you know the struggle. But so today we're just going to focus on how successful you have been into creating Uptown Gaming. I'm sorry, into the place to be, right? Tell us like what's going on since you started to midpoint to now.
We've just been building, honestly, and that's like a general term. By building, I mean we've been just day in and day out doing the best we can. When we first opened the restaurant, we had so many issues. We're new operators still. Even though we're about to make a year and we're really proud of it, we built such a great community so far. We've had a lot of issues even when we first opened that we weren't aware of until we got there. We had to, build our own menu. We had to build our own drink menu. We had to follow all these laws and regulations of the Department of Health. We had to just so many things at the establishment that we had to get in order, fix previous issues from that were already systematic at the place that we had to fix. And things always cost way more than you think. You think you have a budget together, and the next thing you know, something happens that costs way more money. So it's always safe to overestimate and think you're going to spend twice as much as you think you're going to spend, because things are going to come up, things are going to break, machines are going to break. You're going to have to hire a handyman left and right.
Or if something breaks and you have the budget for that to be fixed, but then something else breaks, and now you're like, great.
Any business owner would know that never chill when it's not one thing, it's another. Like literally. So just have the mentality that you're always going to just move forward and don't let it break you. So that's how it was with us through time. We got our space together. We improved it little by little. And then now we have things like a good air conditioning system. Like last summer, we were sweating in there. Our system,
it was a sauna, a free sauna.
Internal system broke down. AC system, the HVAC, completely got messed up, got burnt or something. We don't even know exactly what happened. And people rock with us so much that even throughout the summer, we had little to no ACs. We were running fans in there. People were just hanging out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sweat just in there, but we had a good time. But again, it just goes to the power of building community. Like people like the space and the vibe so much, they still came.
So touch on that a little bit more. Like, how did the community? You're in Uptown. How did the community see your business, and was it what you expected? Your vision? Did it coincide with what the community was waiting for? Is your business unique? Tell us all of that.
Well, funny enough, some of them actually would tell us, like, while we were building it, they would pass by like every day to see if we were done. Like
amazing.
Like our friend Dr. Angel, he would tell us, like, he was there day one that we opened. Like he would tell us, like, I was waiting for you guys to open. I would pass by every day and I was on your Instagram, like, checking.
Yeah, we were building hype on social media about doing construction
we were
for a while.
teasers.
Wow.
Dropping teasers and like, just like, this is coming, guys. First, video game bar uptown. So we were trying to keep it like, put out content about it, even though it was just the place was totally gutted. And we were building, and we built the place ourselves, for sure. Yeah, we had some help in areas that we couldn't do, like electrical and plumbing and stuff like that.
Right.
But in terms of building the place out, like we got in there and we built the bar, we put in the floors, we did a bunch of stuff.
Great. So tell us exactly what is Uptown Gaming. Explain it to us. Break it down. Tell us exactly what it is.
Uptown Gaming, at the end of the day, is a brand. It represents the Uptown gamer who is unapologetic, who has charisma, who wants to just chill and have a good time. That's, to me, what Uptown Gaming is. But we do have a headquarters. Our headquarters right now is in 4455 Broadway. I'm in Washington Heights, and it's the first video game bar north of Harlem that represents us for who we are. And honestly, it's just, we really want to just create a hub for gamers. Like older gamers to come by, even though we do have like events for the youth early in the day. We do workshops we can touch on later. It's mostly for an older crowd that's still, like I said, into gaming or anime fandom, that wants to come chill, play some video games. And by video games, I mean we have actual consoles on site. We have Nintendo Switches, we have PlayStation 5s, we have Xbox Ones, we have a plethora of consoles at the venue that you can walk in, grab a drink, grab some pizza, grab some tacos, some wings, some tenders, whatever you want.
Some
sliders, whatever.
And
good. You can game
good.
with your friend or your date or whoever and just play Mario Kart, play Street Fighter, play Tekken, play
Just Dance.
Just Dance, Tekken, whatever you're into, we pretty much have it at the space. And we do weekly events. We do right now the two most popular games are Smash Bros. Ultimate and Street Fighter 6. And every now and then we do tournaments for games like Tekken. We do tournaments for Mario Kart, Guilty Gear, Strive. So we have all these different games that have all their own communities. So that's another thing too. Like these games have their own like factions, and they have their own vibe and their own communities that we cater to. And they come to our space, they compete, or they play casually, and we have a good time. And we do that every week. And we also have things outside of gaming like karaoke. We do karaoke every week. It's been a hit. We do trivia. We do all kinds of things at the space that people can have fun that doesn't have to touch a console.
So now let me ask you, because you can have a vision of what your place will look like. Is this what you imagined? Did it change? Did your vision change as you were building? And so how do you see it now? Is it the same vision you had when you started thinking about starting up Uptown Gaming?
I would say it changed a lot. Like the first vision we had, we were like, okay, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look very loungy. We're gonna have these types of chairs and like this, and we're gonna have one section looking like this, and then this section like this, and then like this, and then throughout the time we're like, okay, we don't have that much space. Let's change this, right? Or money. So we gotta do this, and then we gotta pivot, and then we gotta. But now, for me, my vision was more based on the community, and the community has like opened up my eyes. Like I didn't envision this much. Like I envisioned people coming in and enjoying the time and okay, whatever. But I never thought that I would be like this close to them. Like knowing their lives, knowing their first names, knowing their dogs. Like our friend Carlos comes in with his dog Miles, and I'm just like, like I say hi to Miles before I say hi to Carlos. I'm like, like that to me is like is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that we have like a vision for what Uptown Gaming is, but you definitely gotta pivot to like your current circumstance. So in the moment you get this euphoria of the business, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this bar and we have this, and it's gonna be 3 floors and it's gonna be, you're so excited, but reality humbles you, and it's okay for what you're gonna have. We love our space. Maybe someday when we have the funds, we can grow, get to a bigger spot. But we looked at many other locations that had different layouts. Different layouts mean different structures of how we're gonna do things. Some were 2 floors, some had more breakout rooms, and we were just thinking by each location that we were looking at, we were thinking how we're gonna run the business. Ultimately, when we landed at this location, we had to pivot and change the concept a bit to what fits this space. How can we optimize this space for our vision? So I would say you gotta be flexible too.
Of course.
It may not be this dream like video game lounge with craziness, but we are happy with what we built so far, and it's much better than we ever imagined it would be at this space. Especially like the most important thing is the community. Yeah, we have food and we have a bar and we have the video games on site, but it really comes down to the people. Like it would not be the space it is without the people, and the fact that like everybody gets along so well. Other community members look forward to meeting each other here on certain nights. They chat in our Discord server. They meet offline. They meet in the lobbies and the video games. They play together, and it's all because we've created this hub for them to do that.
Amazing work so far. I love what I'm hearing. It looks like you guys are building something unique, and I was gonna say you guys are touching on the community. It looked like something like this was not in the community, right? No. And you guys are the first one.
Yeah, there's things a little similar to it in the tri-state. There's other local video game bars or LAN centers or like event spaces that have similar things. Well, they all have their own brand, and I respect them for what they have. It's not easy starting a business. We love all of them, and we're friends with a lot of them. And what works for them works for them. But we could never be them, and they could never be us. And the way we are Uptown, we needed to have something that like I think ultimately was authentic to us. That was the most important thing, that we didn't want to have Uptown Gaming be very generic and very bland. It had to be charismatic, really unapologetic, really fun, and just really build community. When people come compete in our events, we encourage you to talk trash.
Right? I do it
we
all the time.
encourage you to, I'm not saying nobody's getting hurt or anything, just for sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And just like have fun, get rowdy, get into the game. Just how when you go to a basketball game or whatever kind of game, and you're like, oh, you're rooting for that team, you get passionate. The same thing happens at the bar on a weekly basis. Friends come support their friends, and you're there sitting down with your friends having a drink, and your friends playing Street Fighter on the big screen, and he's about to win or about to clutch the match. Everybody gets hyped, gets up and yells. That's what we do it for. We do it for those moments.
Great. Yep. And tell us, how did you ended up at this location? You gave us the address, you shared it with us. So how did you land it on Washington Heights?
Networking. Networking was everything. And networking is extremely important. I would say networking and just really being consistent and putting the energy into the universe that we were going to eventually get a spot. Technically, we were speaking to many brokers and landlords for many years. Post-COVID, has been really, you'd be surprised. You think it'd be easier to get a location, but it was really difficult to work with brokers and landlords, especially when you're not a super experienced operator. We never owned a bar or any kind of retail location for many years. So a lot of these places will not give you the light of day if you're not into, having been running a bar for a long time. You're not proven. They just don't trust you. So through time and just meeting the right people, we were able to network through friends of friends and just being in the right spaces. We met the right people, and ultimately we were able to get this location. And that happened because people were able to vouch for us. People that were trusted by somebody else were able to vouch for us and say, these are good people, they're hardworking, they're building something new, give them a shot.
Right. So I want to expand on that a little bit because with Business Club as well, I know a lot of business owners who have a small locale, right, small store, and they're like, well, does that work for me? Because I'm just a small store, right? And I tell them all the time, it's like, you never know. Yeah, you never know what the future holds, who you're going to meet, and it looks like that's what happened to you guys. And then based on that alone and expanding your brand, I'm sure that it's not just the community that comes to use your space. Now that through social media, probably people have found Uptown Gaming, and word of mouth has spread. So tell me something, a little story of where people coming from that are outside the neighborhood.
We actually, when we were doing an event at an event space, he knows the address, I can't remember the address. We were doing events there. We were hosting I believe it was a Smash tournament. And Ivan Manitos, he's a comedian on Instagram. Ivan Osilve. I always got to say it.
Shout out to Ivan Manitos. His team and him, they're a good friend of ours to this day.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys.
I love Capi though. He actually commented on our post and was like, "Oh, this is like so dope. I want to go and join a tournament, whatever." And because I have no filter, I was like, "Pues coge pa acá, haz una pela." First of all, I don't play, so why am I talking? I was talking like if I was actually part of it. Right. So he comments very professional. He's like, "Yeah, you can totally come and join and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Bro." Man, so he comes and I'm like, I was eating wings and I'm choking because I'm like, oh, he's right here, and I had to FaceTime him because he had to run an errand. So I'm like, because I'm still trying to chew. So he had to run back and they started talking, whatever. Our friend Luigi actually played Ivan and just gave him the pill of a lifetime. That's a whole other story. But and then they started talking about the space that we have now because it was a pizzeria. Called the Last Pie, and we started doing events there, which is funny because, like he said before, when we first started doing events as GBM, we bought them pizza. So then that's why I was like, oh, look at that, we full circle. Right. So when we first went to the pizzeria, I was like, oh, this is cute, because the bar was not where it's now. It was across from it.
We completely retrofitted the place to what we think was optimal for us.
I mentally decorated everything, and I was like, oh yeah, we move it here, and then we remove this and the third, and I was like moving everything, and he's like, no, because it's too small and blah blah. And I was like, yeah, but I got it. Don't worry about it. Just let the bruja work. I got it. And we ended up manifesting it. Somehow I told him, I was like, we're gonna get this place, and we ended up with the space. So again, you never know who you're gonna meet. We've had famous, what's that called? The people that talk in the video games?
Oh no, just commentators. People from the industry that are famous in the industry come by, say hi, really appreciative of the space. And we're meeting so many people now, professionals that come to the space. But yeah, just the power of networking, people like Ivan and Manitas Gaming, and all these how we do all these organizations and big streamers or that we've been able to befriend, that have been a resource to us. We've been a resource to them, and everywhere we go, we try to just really build community. And but through them, that was like one of the connections, like I said, that led to meeting the right person that ultimately vouched for us to be able to get this spot. And then we ended up here because we were just still negotiating and trying to get in other places at the time. But we decided like this was meant to be. Let's go with this. Obviously, the universe wants us to go this direction.
Exactly.
And a lot of people in our community now are so thankful that we're even in this area because it's just kind of like where we're at, And it works out for the best because it's near where we live.
Yes.
It's near a family. We're in between 2 trains. We're on Broadway. We're in a
The bus leaves you right there.
The bus leaves you across the street. We have a nice little deck. And we love our neighbors, Locksmith, Cantina. You have, just so many different bars nearby. That are cool with us, and and we're just trying to build this strip together. They're obviously a lot more experienced, so we lean on them for their experience. We're the new players in town in that block, but we come with good vibes, and we're building something different and new to the neighborhood.
That's what I want to touch on. And it's like when you build a uniqueness in your business and you're authentic, and people see what you're building. And it's like, it's yours, but they can come and share on your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that people can enjoy the fact that they don't have to travel so far, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's huge. That was a huge thing for us.
Right.
Yeah. Like, before we opened up Uptown Gaming, a lot of the gamers that lived, in the Heights, Inwood, Dyckman, or the Bronx, had to hike to Brooklyn.
Wow.
To just go to local video game bars. And mind you, you live uptown, you're getting out late, 1, 2 a.m. You have to take the train back or cab back uptown. Now, a lot of these gamers and that live in the area, and mind you, sometimes they might get lazy. They might not even go anywhere. But now they don't have much of an excuse. They can walk to our bar. They can take 1 train, 2 buses to our bar, 1 bus to our bar, and they can still get home at a decent time. And Uptown is so much more denser than a lot of these commercial locations downtown. So we have a lot of more gamers uptown to serve that look like us, that are like us, that we're just excited to continue serving and building with. And like I said, we're about to be a year in now, and since we started, even before we started, because that was an advantage of that we did have. We were doing events for many years uptown before we even opened the bar.
Right, so that gave you experience. You kind of knew what to expect.
Correct.
You already had a following. And
we didn't. Correct. Yeah, we didn't. We never ran a bar, but we worked with so many bars and owners that we knew the mechanics of everything. Yeah. We knew the drinks. We knew how to price things. We knew like what to do, what not to do. We worked with great owners. We worked with terrible owners.
We made friends with bartenders.
Yeah, we made a lot of servers and bartender friends through time that eventually we brought back in to help us with our location, with our drinks, with our menu. We've had one of the great servers to come and train our servers.
Right.
A server that we liked. So again, networking and meeting the right people and just have them in your pocket. People that can help you can help them. So there's just really just through networking and being out there, we made it happen.
Right. So that's really important to network. Mm-hmm. And I tell people it's important to expand on your brand. Right. Your brand is your business. Your brand is everything. Right. And we have to cherish it, and we have to take care of it, and we have to maintain it, right? And at the same time, we do have to make people aware of who we are, because if people don't know who we are, how can they find us?
Yeah.
Right? How can they come and share in our vision that we created, that we want people to share, right? So that's important, right? So I would like to ask you a couple more questions in regards to just to wind it down a little bit. If I haven't asked anything that you think is important to share about Uptown Gaming, please use the space and tell us anything that you would want to share.
I would say that it's important to be I'm just kind of leading back to being authentic is very important. That's like if I had to have 2 words for Uptown Gaming, it would be like community and authenticity. It would have to be those 2 words. And I say that because it brings us the least amount of stress to be ourselves at this space. Like, I handle all the business stuff. I steal the numbers. I'm the one having the tough conversations. I do all the finance stuff. Jenny's the people person. She really enjoys, as fake mean as she is to everybody, you know, they love it and they come back, you know, and they know that she's being herself. She curses them out, but still loves them and gives them a drink, and they chill. And we have all our staff is amazing in their own way. They're themselves. They don't have to feel like they gotta be in a shell. And that's something that we as like a community unfortunately have to do a lot in like these environments. We have to like code switch too much or like be in a pocket of like who now we are, and through time that stresses us out. So Uptown Gaming is a space where you can come in, be yourself, just chill. We're not uptight. Really cool community. You come in, you know, you can play some video games, like I said, play some board games, and just talk to us. And we're human. And through that, we build community. So I think that's very important for small business owners. Be yourself, and if you are yourself, you'll be able to like genuinely build from that. Because if you start building something from something you're not, it's gonna eventually come back to you, and you're not gonna feel. It's not gonna feel right, you know. So I think that was extremely important to us to be authentic. Like you see us, we're like super riled up. We're super like, you come to the spot and it's in the evening, it's the night. You'll see us like we're gonna do whatever we want,
Right.
you know. Like that's how we are, and we have no red tape. Like we want to make decisions. We talk about it as a team. We make it happen together.
You're
And Jenny-
making me just want to go now.
Yeah, pull up.
We out. Let's go. We out. I'm making buckets. Let's go.
We just like, yeah, we just got back. We just got home like 5 a.m. last night. We had a Street Fighter 6 tournament, and then around 10 o'clock, you know, super hype. We love our Street Fighter community. And then after that, we did karaoke. You know, we found this great gentleman named Troy Kells through a friend of a friend networking.
Yeah.
We trusted certain people that are artists in the community. We contact them and say, we need a karaoke guy. What's up? You know, even though we know all the great karaoke guys in the neighborhood as well, you know, like, shout out to people like Cello. You know,
we were in talks with Chelo,
Yeah.
but he was already like busy, booked
Yeah.
and busy, which is great. Great for
so
him.
we know different people in different communities that do different things, you know, like poetry, karaoke. But we met this guy, and he's been part of our family now. He comes in every week, do karaoke, and we're rocking. Or we do like workshops.
Chess
We
workshops.
do chess workshops. We do health events.
Yes.
Wow.
She was talking about Dr. Angel. Dr. Angel runs an organization called Curandero Collective. You can look them up, and he's an actual doctor, like for real.
Wow.
And he
That's
like
amazing.
operates on people, like, you know. And he was a day one fan of the space. And now we do monthly events with him where we educate the community, the Latino, Black, Hispanic community, on health and like overall health wellness. Every month we pick a topic, whether it's breast cancer, you know, AIDS, you know, multiple sclerosis, like just whatever is happening. Alzheimer's. We did a good Alzheimer's one. We bring props to the space. You can practice chest compressions. You can practice IV needles. You know, you can feel what an organ would feel like. Just kind of getting educated for our community, and you can do it at the space, at the bar. You know, and that's awesome.
So you're giving back to the community.
Yeah, and you know, this is free for them. They just come in and get educated, and just we do little mixers. So we're just more than also gaming. You know, even though we have weekly tournaments and gaming programming, we do all kinds of stuff.
That's amazing. Thank you for giving back to the community,
Yeah.
honestly, because, you know, once you're in a position to give back, I think we all should give back a little bit.
Yeah.
The community that has accepted us, and it looks like the community has accepted you guys like overwhelmingly. So thank you.
We're
for
getting
doing
there
that.
now. Thank God. It's been a journey, but yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you want to share with us? Jen?
I just feel like the community has accepted us because each of us bring something that relates to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I come from a retail background. I love retail. I've worked in so many stores. So like he said, I'm the people's person. So I love like interacting with people. Elsie, she works at a school. My cousin Nat also works at a school. So they also like, you know, interact with kids and stuff. And then like Eli, he's in college. He's a young, you know, good looking kid. So it's like a lot of girls, you know, come and flirt with him. And then we have Rawi, who's a dancer. And then he has like a dancing community. He actually does dancing workshops. We're in talks of having one at our bar. So he has a lot of dancer friends. They come and they have like the cute little dancing stuff. Rawi's never behind the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want a drink, don't come when Rawi's dancing or when Rawi's working. Come other days. But if you want to see Rawi dance, come when he's supposed to be working. But yeah, like I feel like the community like loves us because each of us bring like a piece of ourselves and they connect with us because of that.
Yeah.
Right. So our hope is that people that even if they don't live nearby, right? You could be in Queens, Brooklyn,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Jersey, right? Connecticut. I don't care. just come through and check it out because it sounds like an amazing place. It sounds like you guys have a bright future. Any idea where you guys are steering this project?
I would say we're still figuring things out even to this day. You know, we even though to the general population, it doesn't seem like we have like issues and challenges. We do. You know, we're still a small business. You know, we're not like crazy funded. We're bootstrapping this ourselves. We're working day in day out to figure it out. There's always new challenges. Like when it's not one thing, it's another. Like literally. So we are every day working at it. So we're just kind of like continuing the vision of building more community. I would say long term, once we stabilize this location and we're able to get it to a place that we're comfortable with, we would love to have another location.
Oh, that's exciting.
You know, we would love to have another location, whether it's in the Bronx or in Queens,
Let's start with the Bronx
or even Harlem. We would love to have another Uptown Gaming where we continue generating hubs because our focus is super local. We have a really dense population near us, and you know, I grew up in Washington Heights. I know what it's like. I know that so many gamers in the area. So we're still focusing on getting people to know us, that we're here, and coming out of their way to leave their apartment, come hang out with us, and come play some video games, talk about anime, and just chill. And we're still working on that in this location. But we're hope that in the near future, once we can get other locations. That's the end goal. Continue to grow.
Well, that's big news.
Yeah, so we're not there yet, but once we get there, that's our goal.
Of course.
Right now, we're about to make a year, so we're still in our minds kind of like we're still babies. You know, a lot of these restaurants and bars have been around 10, 15 years, you know, one location or two. So we're a year in now. We have a good mojo now. We know we have a solid menu now. We have a solid drink menu. We have a solid staff. These are things we didn't have 6, 8, even 8 months in. We were just trying to survive.
Exactly.
So, you know, now it's like, can we not take the foot off the gas pedal, but like just drive a little more strategically.
Of course,
you know, we're still full throttle, like we're just go, but now we're not like driving as scared. You know,
Exactly.
now we kind of are meeting more people, we're networking,
Great.
we're more comfortable with the brand, and we're able to really like, now we have an idea what's working and what's not. And that's scary because it takes so much trial and error that we have to go through to try different nights, different games, different concepts, themes. Like I said, we have no red tape. If it's not working, we cut it. We give it a shot. We just keep trying. And that's one of the challenges something that maybe I forgot to mention before. A lot of business owners are hard-headed, and they need to know when something's not working. They need to know when to pivot. They need to know when to level up or educate. Sometimes certain things are not with the times anymore, and they need to like do something different. If not, your business, you know, unfortunately will not work.
Right.
So you have to stay innovative. You have to stay, you know, excited, and you got to find a way. You got to try new things.
Great. And that's wonderful that you guys are taking your time and strategically thinking about the future, which is always important because if you don't know where you're going, then you're not going to go anywhere, right? So that's amazing that you really kind of have like an idea of where you want to take your brand. And that's amazing. Once people connect with your brand and they know who you are, then it's easier then, right? Because you're already a known project, you're already a known business, and it's not a project anymore. You're actually out there doing it. So that's just amazing. And I think that we, Business Club, we're going to follow your journey.
Thank you.
So I would like to say that I will want to get, you know, updates from you guys and have you back in the near future to follow up and follow up with to see where Uptown Gaming is at that point. Because I just think that it's just a super exciting business. Even though it's about gaming and things like that, you guys have much more going on. And I encourage anyone, you know, taking a look at this interview, watching you guys talk about your business so passionately. And I love that. This is why Business Club was created. It's because we want people to learn about people's businesses. And Uptown Gaming is just a pleasure to have you guys here at Business Club.
Thank you.
And you guys are welcome to come back. And we're hoping that you guys will say yes in the near future. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Any last words you'd like to share with our community?
I would say if you have an idea or a vision or a dream, just start. I know you hear this online and you hear this in these motivational things online, social media, but it really is that simple. Just start somewhere. You know, you have the t-shirt brand idea, you have that barbershop, you have that, you know, you want to do a podcast, whatever it may be, just start with something. And once you give yourself little wins, Give yourself small wins first. You're not gonna have this huge contract. You're not gonna have this huge sponsorship right away. Like, give yourself small wins, and meet the right people, get in the right environment. Energy is everything. Like, you gotta put yourself in the right environments with positive energy, people who are cheering for you, rooting for you, and genuinely care for you. I know it's hard to find, but you can tell when people actually care about you and want you to do better. Friends and family. So cut off whoever you gotta cut off, and continue with your vision and your dream, and just start small. We started off very small. We started off as a video game club in my college. Before I graduated, I was working retail, these random jobs, so studying accounting, and through time built the video game club to a big club. I branched out from the video game club. We started this informally, this company. All we did was everybody chipped in money, put in money for the tournament. We didn't pay ourselves for years. The money went back to buying pizza. That was the incentive. Hey guys,
reinvesting on your business, of course.
Yeah, so we built the following through. Hey guys, you're gonna get to play Street Fighter, Smash, whatever the game is, and you get to eat pizza and a soda. And then now we're technically a pizza bar. If you really think about it, we have authentic Italian brick oven.
Oh,
So technically speaking, we are a pizza bar. We just brand ourselves as like an event space, a video game bar. But you look how it comes full circle now. We sell pizza, and also we have video games. So I would say just start, and just you owe it to yourself to just start.
and Jenny, one last word about Uptown Gaming. What would you like to say of someone that's thinking about going and checking you guys out?
Community is everything. Like he said, energy is everything. You never know who you're gonna meet. Never know. Like my birthday just passed, and him and another friend of ours, Kat, they planned a birthday party for me, and like everyone there was actually like customers that come to the bar celebrating with us, and I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
Usually my birthday is just like a group of friends. Let's just go to brunch. Let's go to dinner. No, this time it was like a bunch of my customers that I'm always cursing at and always bullying to getting more drunk. They're there, like, just celebrating me and appreciating, sharing love and stuff. So again, you just never know who you're going to meet. You never know who's going to share your same passion or just want to see you win and want to see you smile. So like he said, do it, follow your dreams, cut off whoever you need to cut off. And again, network. That's very, very important.
Thank you so much to the both of you for having us. I'm sorry. I'm going to start again. Thank you to the both of you for coming. And I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, sharing your successful business story from your humble beginning to now almost a year into this location, which is thriving. And we're looking forward to having you guys back again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.